back to my nursery and welcome if you're new here. So it is Thursday afternoon. Not that late yet. It's around 4 p.m. at this point. And I am here with my little Layla. And we are going to feed her and change this little girl while I chat with you guys. This chat that I'm gonna have, it might be a little bit redundant, repetitious. Forgive me if you've heard me talk about this before, but you can still come and enjoy seeing Layla and me feeding and changing her, even though you might have heard me say some of the stuff I'm going to go over again. I just feel the need to have this little discussion again. And reason being is because when you are in the dog community for a long time, you tend to, if you have a YouTube channel, you tend to need to repeat stuff. I'm giving her this bottle today, and you can kind of see the water in there. It's about almost 5 ounces in there, 4.5 ounces. And this is the Suavenex bottle. I haven't used this bottle in quite a while. Do I have it the correct way? So anyway, before I continue, please subscribe if you are new and you think you would like my channel. Please subscribe. Click the notification bell. Come on, Layla, take your bottle. I did put a little bit of lubricant on there. Maybe it's not enough, but she got it. So please, everyone, give the video a like. Please hit your like button for me. And feel free to always comment below. All my contact information is usually under my videos in the description. If you need to email me, message me, or anything, my Instagram, my email, and my Facebook is always under my video. And let's see. I think I covered everything. Because usually if I don't say it at the beginning, I'm going to forget. So, Layla here is a Claire Taylor edition doll if you're new to my channel. And that's what I was going to say. Sometimes I repeat these things for new people that may be tuning into my channel for the first time. They might be new to the dog community or the reborn dog community. So certain things, the rest of us that have been here a while buying these dolls, we might know, but new people, they may be unaware of certain things. And with me, being that I collect dolls, but I also paint dolls and sell dolls. And even if you don't paint dolls, but you tend to be a collector that also sells dolls a lot, you will notice that you run into certain things again and again, especially with new, doll collectors that are new to the community, just coming in, and they may not know all of the stuff the rest of us have come to learn. Okay, because with the dolls, the authentic dolls are quite expensive at times. You're not expecting the prices that you're gonna see when you first come into the doll community. Because definitely for me, when I first came into the dog community, I did not expect the prices that I saw. And excuse me, when I came in, it was 2013 when I first saw these dolls. and they were nowhere near how expensive they are now. But even at that time, it was still very, very expensive, because you're not thinking like a doll is going to cost you hundreds to thousands of dollars. You're never thinking like, how the heck a doll could cost that much? Okay. And when I tell people now how much these dolls cost, they mouth is usually hanging open. Um, Especially a doll like Layla. And Layla is the Dwayne Awake by Clear Taylor Dolls. As I was saying, she's an edition doll, meaning she's all completely done from start to finish. A full body silicone drinking wet doll, you know, with all of the what do we call it, bells and whistles, as we say, meaning she has a drinking wet, she's full silicone, she has a squishy tummy, she has like very realistic painting, you know, almost I would say perfection with her painting, her matting, her rooting. Clear Taylor is definitely still, to me, one of the best artists in the reborn doll community. But some people might have a different opinion, but for me, she's definitely top notch, okay? So when you're looking at her dolls in particular, you definitely aren't prepared for the price. Let me tell you, when I first saw Layla, well, not Layla, but a Clear Taylor doll, an edition doll, all done by Clear Taylor, I was just amazed. I was in awe of her work, and I definitely wanted one of her dolls. And down here beside me in the seat, he's to my left, and I believe he'll be to y'all's right. This is Gabriel down there, and he was one of, not the first, but one of the first Clear Taylor edition dolls that I saw and fell in love with. I was just amazed by her work, especially with his darker skin tone, how realistic he was. And I was like, oh my God, I have to have one of those dolls one day. I have to get one of Clear Taylor's edition dolls. So it just became like a dream for me to one day have one of her dolls. And at the time, when I found out the price of them, I was like, definitely is a dream, okay? Because I didn't think I could ever really manage to get one of her dolls. And I was looking on the secondary market. I wasn't even thinking about getting a brand new Clear Taylor doll directly from her. So when I got Gabriel, he was like my second full body silicone, all done by Clear Taylor. The first one I had was Zoe, and she was an edition doll, all done by Clear Taylor. And I got her off the secondary market. And that's how I was able to afford Zoe, because I bought her from another collector. And so she wasn't brand new. And so then once I got Zoe, I was like, man, I wish I could get a doll like him, like Gabriel. And he's the Andrew by Clear Taylor Dolls. But I didn't think I could do it. But once I got Zoe, it kind of opened my mind. And I was like, I think I can. I think I can. I was like Thomas the Train. And I had to come up with a plan and be really serious and work out my plan to work my way up to getting a Clear Taylor edition doll. And that's what I did. And that is how, leading up into my conversation I'm about to have, I had to give you that little background for those who may be new to my channel. When you want any type of doll in the doll community and it's out of your budget, out of your price range, just over the top, more than you expected you was going to spend on a doll, you know, more than you want to spend on a doll, and say not want, but say you just didn't think you was gonna ever have to spend that much on a doll, on, you know, in your hobby for something you wanted. You have to kind of have a plan. You have to really, if you really want it, let me put it like that. It depends on how bad we want something in order for us to really seriously take it into consideration. When I'm selling dolls, I notice that, and the dolls I'm painting and selling are nowhere near a Clear Taylor doll, okay, in the realism or in the price. My dolls are okay. I feel they okay. They pretty good. They pretty realistic. But they're nowhere near a Clear Taylor doll, of course. And then I'm not pricing them nowhere near a Clear Taylor doll. But if it's a full body silicone, even if it's one I painted, you have to be prepared that in most cases, a full body silicone doll is gonna cost you $1,000 and better, 1,000 and up. So you can't just all of a sudden, for most of us anyway, I'm not going to speak for everybody, we can't just jump up and say, oh, today I'm going to spend 2,500 or on a doll, or 3,000 on a doll. You know, you have to kind of know if you want that type of doll. Once you start asking sellers how much the dolls are, that's when you notice how, okay, that's how much they cost. And or you looking online and you seeing prices, then you kind of know, oh, okay, that's how much I'm looking at if I want a doll like that. Now, Clear Taylor doll, at the time when I got Gabriel down there, he was pretty pricey. I think he was like, at that time, $6,500 for him. That was back in 2017 when I purchased him. He was way more than Zoe was. I think when I got Zoe, she was around 3,000. And these dolls they were on secondary market. By the time I moved up and got Laila directly from Clear Taylor, a custom, this baby was that I'm holding, brand new from Clear Taylor dolls. I got Laila in 2018. I started paying for her in 2017 because Clear Taylor does layaway. She was doing layaway at that time. I still think she does now. She was way more than him. So I had to prepare for that. And it definitely took a plan, and it wasn't overnight I could do it. And I didn't think I could do it, but I managed to do it because I really wanted him when I got him. I didn't know I was going to ever get him. I knew that I wanted a doll like him, but I never even thought I could manage to get no doll like him, and definitely not like her, but I did it. Okay, I was going to say when I gave her this bottle, she don't drink from this bottle that good. I don't know why, but she doesn't. So she only had about a half an ounce, and I don't want to switch bottles, so we gonna just leave it at that. But she ain't really drink nothing out of there. And this bottle has like a little plastic insert inside of it. I don't know if that's the problem, but she never, since I got that bottle, she doesn't drink good from that one. So I should have known she's not gonna drink out of it today. But anyway, so what I mean and where I'm going with this is, even a doll from me, from an artist like me, a seller like me, and it's one of my dolls and it's a full body silicone, I'm running into customers a lot who want one of my dolls. They'll tell me, you know, like they watch my YouTube channel and all of that, and they love my dolls and they really, really want one of my dolls. But what I'm running into is that usually they aren't prepared to buy a silicone doll from me or anybody else for that matter. Because like I said, most of the time you looking at least $1,000 or more for a full body silicone doll. They want layaway. Okay, at one time, I didn't really want to do layaway, but I do take layaway from time to time because I know a lot of times people do need layaway to get a silicone doll. But the problem I'm running into is that most of the time they are not prepared at all even to do the layaway. So that's what made me want to talk about this again. Is the thing is that if you want a full body silicone doll, you start looking at the prices. Okay, once you kind of know the prices, you need to make a plan as to how are you going to acquire a silicone doll. I have the blanket the wrong way. How can you do it? Based on your own budget, because everybody have a different budget. You know, we all have different, like, why isn't this going the right way? We all have different lifestyles, different income, you know, so you have to look at your income, what you can afford, and how can you make it happen? Because basically that's what I did when I started going after Claire Taylor dolls. I had to kind of figure out, how can I make this happen? I knew I really wanted the doll. So, and I knew it wasn't just in my budget just to get one of her dolls. So I had to come up with a plan. And I knew I was going to need layaway, because definitely layaway helps you to acquire these dolls when they are over a certain amount. So you want to kind of look for an artist that, if you do like their work, the first thing you want to know is, if you do need layaway, you know, do they take layaway? Because some people don't like doing layaway. But in most cases, I notice with these silicone dolls, most sellers, they will take layaway, because they know that most people can't just get one of these dolls, you know, just pop up and buy, you know, a doll that's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 and higher. So you need to plan out your budget and know if you're going to want layaway. You need money even to start the layaway. And what I'm noticing is that a lot of customers are not even prepared to do layaway. They don't have a down payment. You know, if you're going to do layaway, you need money for your down payment. You need something to start the down payment. Okay, the doll that I'm selling that recently is Kobe, and he's a preemie full body silicone. So he's 16 inches. He's not like a 20-inch doll or bigger. He's 16 inches. But nevertheless, he still costs you something, because he is a full body silicone. He has an open mouth. He has armatures in his arms. He's painted fairly realistically, in my opinion, and I've gotten a lot of compliments on how he's painted. If I can remember when I'm editing, I'll try to pop a picture up here of Kobe. So what I'm having is people that want him. Many people want him, and they want layaway, but they don't have the money to even start the layaway. So that means you need to, like I said, before you even really try to go after a doll, and you know you're going to want to have, you know, to use layaway, you need to plan it out. Plan it out. Start putting some money aside, because that's what I had to do when I was going to go after Gabriel over here. I didn't even know he was going to be for sale. I didn't know he was going to be available for sale. I never even thought of getting him. I didn't know I was going to even get him. But I knew I wanted a Claire Taylor full body silicone doll. I knew that much. So I started putting money aside. She did drink some, because her pamper is a little wet. Let's see, because it has this bag in here. You can't tell what she drank. Okay, she did drink like an ounce, because now it's down on the 4. But like I said, this bottle, for some reason, she doesn't drink well out of this one. And I have the nipple cut open so wide, but she does not drink well out of that bottle. But anyway, we're going to change her. And I was trying to find her an outfit to match her bow blanket. Like, I'm so in love with this blanket. I was trying to look for something else I could put on her that would match her blanket, because the outfit I took her out of had the big bow on it that said "Hello World." So I was trying to find something I could put with this blanket. And I was looking for other outfits for her that have bows on it. I found quite a bit of them on Amazon, but they look so big. Like, that's the thing. They say newborn, but they look so big. You could see the line starting to turn a little green on the diaper. So she drank something. But anyway, I bet you I'm not going to remember where I was at when I do that. I don't remember. What was I saying? But yeah, I think it was something like having something towards your down payment when you know that you're going to want layaway. Most of the people I'm inquiring don't have any money even to start the layaway. So that means you're not even prepared at all. So how can you get your dream baby? How can you get your doll? Okay, she also has a spine in there that you actually can feel in her back. She's poured all in one piece, as I said. She has a drinking wet system, and she has this squishy tummy. And he also has a squishy tummy, but he doesn't have a drinking wet. So we are going to put her in this romper. It's pretty warm down here, so she can actually wear a romper with short sleeves. And this is what I could come up with to match this blanket. This is the outfit I found, and I was like, okay, this is the outfit she gonna put on. It's by Mayoral, and it is 0 to 1 month size, which is usually the size I get for her. And then I found these little pink booties or socks with the bows. So she do have some bows to go with her bow blanket. And then I put this headband because I feel like this headband matches this color pink on this outfit and the blanket pretty good. So anyway, that is the thing that I have been noticing, is that not only are people not prepared for the prices of the dolls, they're not prepared to pay upfront for the doll in full, but then they're not prepared for the layaway either. So you want to kind of prepare before you really see a doll that you fall in love with and then you can't get it. And that's what I've been hearing a lot. Like, one lady really wanted Kobe, and I wish that she could get him, but she's not prepared. So she said she would check back with me when, once she's more ready, and hopefully I still have him by then. So, and I hear that story so much, and when I have potential customers and they can't get the doll because they not prepared for how much the doll is going to cost. They kind of new in the doll community. And then they're not prepared, even if I'm saying I'll take layaway, they're not prepared to do a layaway. They don't have a down payment ready. So really with these dolls, just because a lot of them are so expensive, you have to kind of prepare ahead. Just like when we buying a car or anything else, and it costs you have to kind of prepare ahead of time a lot of times. So that's what prompted me to kind of do this video and kind of talk about this stuff again for the umpteenth time. I know some of you are tired of hearing it, but for new people, it might help someone where they can get their dream baby, where they can get the doll, that they want to get. And when I got Gabriel and Zoe before him, by me looking at other people's videos that had Clear Taylor's dolls and like other expensive silicone dolls, it kind of helped me when they were talking about this stuff. And that's how, I then sat down and worked out my own budget and, started thinking about, okay, how can I get my dream baby? How can I make this happen? And at the time, I didn't know if I could do it or not, but I was like determined to make it happen. I was serious about it, and I wanted it. And when I want something, I go for it. Okay. And it could be seeming like something way impossible, but when I set my eyes on something and I want it, I don't give up. I try to go after what I want, or I'm not going to be satisfied and happy. So if you really want a silicone doll, whatever artist you're interested in, it don't have to be Claire Taylor's dolls, it don't have to be one of my dolls, whatever doll, and it's kind of over your budget, kind of out of your price range in a way, and but you really want it and you want to make it happen, you have to have a plan. That's number one. You know, you got to actually sit down and work out your budget, you know, start saving up money ahead of time so that if the seller does offer layaway, you can have your money, something set aside to start your layaway. If you looking at a doll that's over $1,000, realistically, that layaway, you need a good amount to start the layaway of $50 or $100, and the doll is $1,000 and higher. $50 is not gonna really be anything to start a layaway. You want to have a good chunk for your down payment, so that way you're not sitting there trying to pay off a doll for almost 12 months. Most people don't want to offer you no layaway that's going to take 12 months for you to pay for the doll. You know, realistically, that's just not, most of the time, not going to happen. Most people want you to try to do your layaway, like pay it off, for me, at least 3 months, 4 months tops. Some people might do 6 months. So you need, say if the doll is $3,000, I would say you should at least have $500 to start the layaway. That's minimal. Really $1,000 to start, because you looking at a $3,000 or $4,000 doll. You really should have like $1,000 set aside just to start your layaway. Then you need to know, okay, how much can I pay every month for my layaway so that I could pay it off within the time frame that I'm trying to pay it off. Know how much you can pay monthly after you make the down payment. You want to have a good amount each month to even pay off the doll. So you want to figure that out. You don't wait until you're ready to get the doll and then start putting money aside, because by the time you put the money aside, someone else done bought the doll you had your eyes on, your heart on. You know, somebody already grabbed the doll. So you want to start saving up your money. If you're going to sell dolls to buy a doll, I also did that. When I was preparing for this doll over here, I didn't know I was going to get him, but I knew I wanted a Claire Taylor doll, a newer one in an ethnic skin tone that was all done by her. I knew about how much it was going to cost. So I started selling off a lot of the dolls I already had, putting that money aside. So when I did see him, I was able to just pay for him right there. I didn't even do a layaway. I had put the money aside. So you need to really start selling off some, if you can do it, because some people will say, no, I don't want to sell off none of my dolls. Sometimes you got to sacrifice something in order to get something. So for him, I didn't even know it was going to be him. I already was selling off all of the dolls I had, except for Zoe. I kept Zoe, but all the other dolls I had, silicone, vinyl, they were gone. As I could sell them, I was selling them. Putting money aside, plus I had been saving money aside to get a doll like him. Same thing with her. I had to sell a lot of the dolls I had in order to get her. By the time I got her, I still kept Gabriel. I managed to keep him, but I sold all the other dolls I had again, including my Zoe at the time, to get this doll. So sometimes you have to be ready to sacrifice something in order to get something more that you want. What else did I do? Selling to buy, that's definitely something I've always done. If I want something, I'll sell to buy. Like right now, if I wanted a newer Claire Taylor doll all done by her, I know that I would have to sell these 2 dolls in order to go after the newer one. I'd have to sacrifice these two and probably still save a little more. So, but for now, I'm content with these two. So that's why I decided I didn't want to go after a newer Clear Tailor doll. Not right now. I don't, because I don't want to part with these two. These are my dream babies and I have them. So I'm good. But when I was first starting out, I was willing to do whatever, sell whatever other dolls I had in order to get to the dolls like these. This is what I wanted. So I'm content now with these two, and any other silicone dolls I have are bonuses. They don't have to be Clear Tailor dolls anymore because I have my dream babies from Clear Tailor that I really, really wanted. So now my collecting style has changed. But when I first came into the game and I seen these type of dolls, this is what I wanted. So I did whatever I needed to do to get to them. So you need to make a plan is my point. You need to set a budget. You need to prepare ahead of time. Also, you need a PayPal account. That's important for buying these dolls also. A lot of people I know want to buy a doll. They don't have a PayPal account. So that's another thing. You need some type of checking account, savings account to open up your PayPal account and connect it to whatever account you're going to connect it to, or a credit card, whatever you're going to connect your PayPal account to. You need to also do that. Set up a PayPal account. A lot of new people coming in, they don't have a PayPal account. What else? I think that's the main things. Your PayPal account, you start putting aside your down payment and figure out your budget so you know how much you're going to pay up front to start the layaway and how much you could pay every month. And if you're going to start selling dolls to buy a doll, don't wait till you see the doll you want to start selling your dolls. Start trying to sell your dolls ahead of time, because now it takes even longer to sell dolls than before. So you never know if you can sell a doll fast enough. So you need to just start selling your dolls that you're going to put up for sale and just start saving your money, putting it in your account, and have it ready for when you get to the doll that you really, really have your heart set on and you want it. That way you don't miss the opportunity to get that doll that you want. And it was something else I was going to say, but I can't, it went out of my head. But that is some of the main stuff with gearing up to getting these dolls. Also, if you're a past customer of me or anyone that you've bought from before, it's good to keep up good payments when you start a layaway. Keep your word and finish your layaway, because you never know if you have to go back to somebody to get a reference for somebody else who you want to buy a doll from them and you need a reference from a previous seller that you've bought from. That is very helpful if you have a good reputation, good payments, on time, you finished your layaway. That previous seller can give you a reference in the future possibly. I recently had, when I sold my Tate by Clear Tailor dolls, that was almost 2 years ago now when I sold her. That mommy did a layaway with me for she asked for 5 months, I think, but she ended up paying her off before the amount of time she asked. She always paid me on time. I didn't have no problem with her. And what do you know? Recently, about a month or two ago, Clear Tailor contacted me and asked, did I know the customer and was she a good customer when she bought from me? And she told Claire that she bought my Tate from me. That was by Taylor Doll Studio. And I said, yes, she was an excellent customer. I had no problem with her. She paid on time every time. And Clear Tailor, asked me because she wanted a reference for her before she would buy a new doll from Clear Tailor. So definitely when you finish layaways and you do well with your layaway, that would help you out another time when you need a reference from that previous seller that you bought from. So keeping your layaway, keeping your word, keeping up your payments is important, even in the doll community, even in the reborn community. It does help you when you keep up your payments and, you know, actually complete your layaway. So anyway, this video is long. I think I covered everything. If not, I'll pick it up in the next one. Thanks for watching. And Layla and Gabriel say thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys again soon. Take care.